I think that the TikTok event that happened, I think that that's what opened up disclosure that we're enjoying right now. It was on the front page of the New York Times. The military themselves said, we can't explain it. Yes, this happened. I'm very good friends with Kevin Day, who is the strike force commander on the radar deck that day on the USS Princeton. I think that it's our Roswell, except this time the government isn't hiding everything. This time it's actually it got out there, and it changed the world.
Tic-tacs have been around forever. I've been investigating tic-tacs for a long time, and I've been talking to military people who've seen tic-tacs. That's nothing new for me. What's new, though, is for our pilots to come out publicly with this information, and that is way cool.
This is why the ridicule has gone down. There's still ridicule out there if you say you've been abducted or you've seen a UFO or something, but it's so far less than it used to be. I got to watch that. It's almost like a fuse that just went out. And it went out because of that New York Times article in 2017. The Tic-Tac was a very, very real thing. And we continually get sightings from the same area. Really good sightings. I've had pilots, boat captains, and all kinds of people that have seen similar things out there. The most impressive thing about the Tic-Tac was that this thing moved at Mach 18, 18 times the speed of sound. And it went that fast, but it didn't create one single sonic boom. And that's impossible. Scientifically, as we know science, there should have been 18 sonic booms. The thing was doing 90-degree turns. It was playing cat and mouse with a squadron of jets that they finally sent out to intercept. At first they thought that the radar was going wonky, but after a week of this, they knew that the radar systems were working perfectly. And these things were coming down from low Earth orbit to sea level and then shooting back up. They saw this on the radar for like 5 days, and they finally sent a squadron of planes out there, and the rest, of course, is history.
There's a myth that the government may be instrumental in creating these Tic-Tacs to really get a public awareness, to really get the push behind it through Congress to say, okay, we have a threat that we need to do this. But if you really look at, and for me, it was, I think so at first, because when you listen to the audio, especially of the Tic-Tac video and the excitement of the pilots, oh, go, wow, look at that. But then it all changed, and there was an interview that was done with Commander Fravor, and this was on 60 Minutes, and you look at his eyes, look at his face, he's disturbed. He saw something that he'd never seen before. He saw something that was not conventional for a pilot, and I think that's what it is. The military do not want the public to know that our Top Gun fighters, our serious fighters that are out there could have some type of fear or something in that air that commands a little better technology. Well, we know that there's those observables, transmedium technology. We know that it has, cloaks, it can cloak, and all of these things that we don't have that technology, and we should be afraid.
My personal feeling is that the government has been in contact for decades. They've had proof of this and maybe even have direct contact, and maybe they still do. And they're doing this in an effort to sort of soft pitch the idea to us, get us more comfortable with the idea that maybe these things do exist. Maybe it's okay. Maybe it's not scary. Because I know for a fact if the government just came out tomorrow and said, hey, by the way, we've been in talks with an alien species from another planet, and we have been for years, I think a large percentage of the society would freak out. Fortunately now, it's 2022, it's a softer subject for people. More and more people believe now than they did 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 40 years ago. it's an acceptable subject. It used to be a thing where if you were into UFOs or in any of this stuff, it was almost embarrassing. You didn't really want people to know that was your hobby. It could get you fired. You could lose friends. There was a lot of repercussion to something silly like that. It's not that silly now. People realize it's like, maybe that's a thing. It's not embarrassing anymore, so it's okay to talk about it. And I think that's what the government's doing. They're saying, well, you're okay with this now. Here's some footage that we just happened to find. And we don't know what it is, but here's this. I think they know what it is.
What amazes me is that they show the same video for like the past 5 years going, oh, this is new information. Yeah, it's insane because you've got especially with our NASA, which never a straight answer. they show amazing technology out there with 4K and 8K and technology where everything's zoomed in and you can see things from miles and miles away, thousands of miles away in such clarity. But when it comes down to a UFO, you've got the worst camera fisheye lens view you'll have on there, all kind of speckled colors. You're like, oh, what is that? They do that with like a tic-tac toe. They'll show you something from a black and white or infrared camera, yet they have views from all around the world for years now of high def visions of all these different ships that have been out there for a long time.
Why don't they show us?
They don't want us to know about that. They're keeping that technology to themselves. First of all, NASA has been taking billions of dollars every single year, to actually use it toward technology to look for ETs, which they've already had contact with ETs since the 60s.